Jesus is called the Word of God. That's the title. That is the personification of God. So the God is called the Word of God. You understand? So the flesh, so God became flesh. You see, so God changed form and became a man. God changed form and became a man to remain as that form forever. So God changes into that form so he changes into that form for forever, for eternity. He changes into that form permanently. That's the form he's going to stay in. Does that make sense? So God changes into the form of and it is a permanent form. In that form is also called the Word of, it's called the Word of God. Do you see? He's called the Word of God in that form. You see that in in fact it's John actually who called him that. Chapter 19, verse verse let's say verse 30. Let's start from verse 11 anyway, because that's where he talks about the whole. So, and I saw the heaven open. I'm using the ASV. So, and I saw the heaven open, and behold, and a white horse. So this is God who has changed what? Who has changed form, has been made manifest, and is now manifest in this form. Do you get me what I'm saying to you? So it's now manifest in what? In this form. Because of why? To save, for salvation, to save mankind. The very fact, if it wasn't serious, God would not have gone to this extent if it was not serious. To complete this entire process and to perfect it, he had to descend to become what? To become man. We were never meant to ascend and go into heaven. We were never meant to go to paradise. Paradise was always meant to come to. Do you understand? Paradise was meant to where?
Come to us.
Exactly. We were not meant to go to paradise. Do you get where I'm coming from? Paradise is what? Is come to us. God descend. God what? Descending. God descend. The descent of God is the what? Is the ascent of man. We ascend when God descends. Do you get where I'm coming from there? So, and he says what? And a white horse, and he that sat thereon called faithful and true. Do you understand? And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes what? A flame of fire. And upon his head many diadems or many crowns. He had name what? No one knoweth. A name that was written that no one knoweth but he himself. And he arrayed in garments sprinkled with blood. I explained what that meant. So you have to understand. I gave an explain. This takes a full explanation to what the dyed garments mean. The blood, the garments that is got in blood, that are stained with blood. I explained that what that meant. I'm not going to go into it now, but if you want me to go into, I can go into it. But there's a reason why his garments are what? Are stained with. There's a reason to it. So just make sure you're in the mic. Yeah. So there's a reason why the garments are stained with. It's not because just for display. There's a reason for that. I distinguished very, very carefully distinguish why these garments are stained with blood and why the others are in white. I gave an explanation for that. Do you get where I'm coming from? And I distinguished the two realities for the unbelieving. You don't want Jesus to appear to you with dyed garment, but you want him to appear to you with pure white what garment. He appeared to John in what? Dazzling white. His clothing was light, correct? When he appeared to John in the vision in the island of Patmos, right? The full vision of that, the full state, the spiritual appearance of him, the glory, the seriousness of it, the glory of it. You see the vision of that of Jesus Christ, how he looked like, where John saw him. Does that make sense? John saw him in that intense vision that he was so intense, he couldn't stand up straight.
Mm.
He was laid flat on the ground. He was laid what? He was laid flat on the ground. He couldn't stand up straight. The intensity of his glory, the appearance of it, right? Yeah, are you connecting? So then how come he didn't appear in blood, in that garment of blood then? You see where I'm coming from? So there's a difference. So you have to separate them completely. You get me? I gave an explanation as to why. If you want me to explain, I'll get into it. But let's first go into the train of thought that we were already in. But don't see that garment of blood and just conclude the matter. No, you can't just conclude it. You have to. There needs to be explanation as to why it appears that his garment was dyed with blood. There's an explanation for that. So not just to people to think that, oh look, his God is vengeful or Jesus Christ is vengeful. No, he's not vengeful. It needs to be explained. Does that make sense? It needs to be explained. It's not him. It is the people that the reason why he appears that way, because of what the spiritual state of the people. So he's reflecting to them what they actually are. Their real state. But that's just a few sentences of explanation. But it needs to be explained properly. Does that make sense?